So today we are with a special guest. We are going to see how a person can overcome difficulty and reach great heights with our great guest today, Eve. Eve, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
So I'm Eve, and I'm training to be a psychotherapist. It's been a really long road to get here. I'm almost finished my qualifications. I'm almost finished the second to last unit, and then I've got one more unit to do. I can currently practice as a training psychotherapist because I have 60 hours of client time to do before I can graduate. But for me being here, where I am on this course is like a complete triumph for me, and it's somewhere I never thought I would be when I was younger, because how many difficulties I've had. Because within school I struggled with dyslexia. I didn't know till I got to college, so I came out of school without any GCSEs. Then became a mother, and I'm now 34 and decided to take on further training. Worked really hard in the past to learn how to read properly and overcome my dyslexia, and sat with dictionaries and books and books and books. So yeah, it's my new business venture is in the making, in the beginning. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Congratulations on that. So my first question would be, could you explain a little more about your childhood at school and your difficulties with learning?
Yeah, so when I was at school, I had so much difficulty. I couldn't read properly, I couldn't write properly. My mum and dad decided to move me to a private school, and I was made to stand up in front of lots of other children trying to spell spellings out, and I couldn't do it. So then I'd get punished for it, which then further made me, feel quite small, very unintelligent. Knocked my confidence massively with attempting to read, because of the fear that was then created that came along with the situation of being put in front of a class. So yeah, when I was in school, went to secondary school, I couldn't do the work, I couldn't read, but then I was embarrassed, so I was a little bit disruptive at times, to basically distract away from the fact that I felt quite unintelligent and that I couldn't do the work. Really didn't have a clue where I was going to go in life from there, because I just wanted to pull away from education. I, at the time, absolutely hated it. Excuse me. So yeah, I chose to not do anything to do with education, and never really thought I would ever delve back into education again, ever.
So my next question here is, could you describe the most challenging moment you have faced in school?
Probably one of the most challenging in a way is when, I suppose when a teacher was talking about me doing something called the 11 plus, and another parent came in the room, and their child was doing it as well. And the teacher had actually said to that parent, Eve's doing it as well, but she's not got a chance. She's not intelligent enough to do the 11 plus, so she's going to fail. And at that point, before I'd even got to doing the exams, I already felt like a failure. So again, and obviously with psychotherapy, we understand how we build up core beliefs, and that then became one of my core beliefs, that I was a failure, that I wasn't good enough. So yeah, that was sort of a real impacting moment that I sort of had to overcome. And yeah, it made me feel quite inadequate at the time. So yeah.
No,
that'd probably be the most.
Let's go a step forward. When was the moment when you achieved something with reading? You succeeded.
So when my dad passed away 10 years ago, it was very sudden, and he left me a book that he wanted to read, that I wanted me to read. And I was so determined to read this book. I just wanted to know, a little bit of a connection with my dad. I missed him so much. And I thought, to read this book is such a challenge for me. It's just so big and it's full of like loads and loads of pages. There's no chance I'm going to read this. So I sat there with a dictionary and lots of other books, teaching myself how to read properly, teaching myself how to break words down properly, learning so many new words that I'd never even heard before, because I'd never chose to really delve into the English language other than having to do basic communication, basic writing and reading. So yeah, that was the kind of moment where I started to really kind of change things, and that then fed my love for knowledge, and just kept reading books, and my reading came on, and every time I was stuck, I just went to a dictionary. And then obviously we got phones where we could actually put the word in and it'd repeat it for us, so that helped even more, so I knew how to say it as well. So basically, yeah, through a lot of self-teaching, I've managed to get to the point where I could read anything, and I read neuroscience books all the way up to psychology. I ended up reading about the theory of relativity one day. So yeah, going from a person who couldn't barely read to read that kind of content for me was, you know, looking back at myself now, I'm very proud of myself. So
How old were you then?
I was 25 then.
Oh yeah, so the whole journey started at the age of 25.
Yeah, started teaching myself to read properly at about 25.
Yeah. So I have a question here, Eve. My question here: how would you compare your mentality, your way of thinking, at the age of 25 or 26, after you discovered that you can succeed, and your mentality when you were at school, when you had this core thought that you cannot make it?
Completely different. I managed to empower myself. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I'd explain that education is really important, and it does, just because you struggle at one subject or at one area of education, it doesn't mean that you are not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you can't succeed or do what you want to do in life. You just have to find your love for something. And if you've got a love for something, that gives you drive and passion to sort of assimilate any knowledge that you can about that subject to educate yourself. So, you know, we've all got individual talents and powers, so it's holding on to those and really putting your efforts into being able to do what you want to do, what you love. And so that's what I'd probably say to my younger self, for my mentality from then to now. So yeah.
If you were that teacher who said that you cannot do this kind of pyramid, would you have done the same?
Mm-hmm. Would I have done the same as that teacher? But then, no, not at all. No, not at all. No, I have children myself as well now. So, you know, looking at how you have to nourish a child's mind and teach them that, you know, again, that education is vast. There's so much you can learn. It's about finding what you love to learn about, and the rest of it you just need to see is you need to do it to be able to succeed at what you want to do. And you know how I explain to my teenagers now is that they have to do the maths and English and science so they can get those core GCSEs to be able to then further go on to whatever it is that they love, no matter what it be. And as long as that they can just put in enough effort into those to get the grades they need, then, you know, that's where they can then pursue their loves for education in whatever area. So yeah, that's what I would have said as that teacher, probably at that point in time, not put a child down, because it's a crucial age as well when you're a child. It's forming so many beliefs about yourself and the world around you and other people.
So what would your recommendations be for, let's say, for those pupils or for those students who are struggling at school now?
Me personally, I would say ask for help. Say anything you're struggling with. Find a teacher that you can go to, that you can open up to, that, you know, none of the teachers are there to judge. None of them are there to ridicule. Just go to find a teacher that you can talk to be able to help you and support you. And, you know, just find out what they love. do something that they really enjoy doing. So if they enjoy reading something like manga or comic books, even if it's something just simple like that to start with, just keep reading, keep doing something that keeps their interest in reading, because yeah, there's so much, it opens up a whole vast world of knowledge. So yeah.
My other question here, like you have been studying at primary school or middle school, and then you started studying by yourself after the age of 25. How was your studying technique different?
So I actually initially went and did plumbing. So it was more of a practical thing. When I hit 25 and I taught myself to do the reading and what have you, I did plumbing. And I went for a more practical take on things, something I could do with my hands, because that's something I knew I could do. And I found that helped me and eased me into being a little bit more academic, because it was applied. So the maths was applied, the reading made sense. It was teaching me how to build some pipe work or put a radiator in. It was teaching me something, rather than, you know, knowledge that I just had to try and store for an exam. It was something practical. So that then again encouraged my love for learning. And then where I am now is doing the psychotherapy. It's obviously completely different to the plumbing, and it's very, very academic. It's lots of writing, it's lots and lots of reading, and some real deep understanding of things like neuroscience, human behavior. So it's completely changed my perspective on education, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's my absolute passion. So
Okay, now you are following your psychotherapist credentials. What would be your main message to the people?
basically to have belief in yourself, that whatever you want to achieve, you can do it, and be with the people that can empower you to be where you want to be and guide you and help you. And it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to struggle with certain things. We're not all perfect at everything, and we just need to find what we are good at and succeed at that.
Which secrets, or let's say core thoughts in people, do you mainly care about fixing, or let's say just treating?
Empowering people to find the love of what they do, and teaching them that any obstacles can be overcome, no matter whether it's depression, anxiety, a learning disability of some kind like dyslexia. You can overcome it. If there's obstacles in the way, there's ways to defeat it and move forwards with your life feeling empowered and on a path that you enjoy.
Do you think you have achieved your success, or there is still something else to come?
And I think my love of education now, there will be more to come, definitely. When I finish my psychotherapy, I'm thinking about going on and doing hypnosis. I'm part of a big group as well that does a lot of inner work on a spiritual level. And I'm really interested to take on their teachings as well, because it fits in with the psychotherapy really beautifully. Because again, you've got to have that belief in something. You've got to have belief in yourself, and I guess believe there's a little bit of magic out there as well. So yeah, I think definitely my education will continue, and my success is on its way.
Yes, it is. What else would you like to add about this story today, Eve?
Just for people to believe in themselves and believe that they can do what it is that they want to do. It's just having that courage to step into fear and take a leap of faith and believe in you can achieve your dreams, whatever your circumstances, whatever the obstacle, just go for it.
It has been more than awesome talking to you, Eve, and like learning about your story. Thank you so much for sharing these great ideas.
Thank you for having me.